Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be chosen personally by Jesus? To be sent out into the world with his authority to heal, to preach, and to bring hope where there was only despair? And could you imagine leaving everything behind with nothing but faith to carry the message of the kingdom of God? In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 10, verses 1 through 15, we find one of the most remarkable moments in Jesus' ministry. The moment he sends out the 12 disciples. This passage isn't just a story about ancient times. It's a blueprint for every believer who feels called to live out the mission of Christ today. Jesus had already begun his public ministry. Crowds followed him everywhere. The blind received sight, the lame walked, and the poor heard the good news. But now he was ready to extend his mission beyond himself. The time had come for his followers to take part in his divine work. Matthew 10:1 says, Jesus called his 12 disciples to him and gave them authority to drive out impure spirits and to heal every disease and sickness. This was no ordinary mission. Jesus wasn't simply sending them to speak. He was empowering them to act with the same authority he carried. The disciples were to be living reflections of the kingdom of heaven, demonstrating God's power and mercy wherever they went. He called them by name: Simon Peter, Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, Matthew, James, son of Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot, and Judas Iscariot. Ordinary men with extraordinary purpose. Fisherman, a tax collector, a zealot. Not one of them came from privilege or religious rank. Jesus chose them not because of who they were, but because of what he would make them become. Then he gave them their mission. Go rather to the lost sheep of Israel. As you go, proclaim this message: the kingdom of heaven has come near. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those who have leprosy, drive out demons. Freely you have received, freely give. These words carry both power and humility. Jesus didn't tell them to gain influence, wealth, or status. He told them to serve, to give freely what they had freely received. Their mission was built on grace, not gain. And notice how specific Jesus was. He told them not to take gold, silver, or copper in their belts. No bag for the journey, no extra shirt, no sandals, no staff. Why? Because their dependence was not on possessions, but on providence. God himself would provide for them through the hospitality of others. In that we see the heart of discipleship, trust. When Jesus sends you, he also sustains you. You may not have everything you think you need, but you will have everything he knows you need. He instructed them to stay in the homes of worthy people and bless those houses with peace. But if anyone refused to receive them, they were to shake the dust off their feet as a testimony and move on. This wasn't an act of pride or anger. It was symbolic. It meant they were not to carry rejection with them. When you serve God, not everyone will listen, and not everyone will welcome you. But faithfulness isn't measured by how people respond. It's measured by obedience to the call. This mission marked a turning point for the disciples. Up until now, they had watched Jesus perform miracles. Now they were the ones carrying his power and message into the world. And in this, Jesus was teaching them a crucial truth. His mission was never meant to stay contained in one person. It was meant to multiply through those who followed him. Imagine their emotions that day: excitement, fear, anticipation. They were stepping into something much larger than themselves. Yet they went, because when Jesus calls, his voice brings both purpose and peace. The phrase, "the kingdom of heaven has come near," carried revolutionary meaning. It wasn't a political statement, it was spiritual. It declared that God's reign was breaking into the world, not through armies or kings, but through mercy, healing, and truth. The disciples weren't just delivering a message, they were carrying the presence of the kingdom itself. And the authority they received was not their own. It was a gift of divine empowerment. They were ambassadors of Christ, sent in his name, bearing his authority. This reminds us that when God sends us into the world, whether to speak, to serve, or to comfort, we do not go alone. Every follower of Jesus is called to live in this same rhythm: called, equipped, and sent. We may not all cast out demons or heal the sick in miraculous ways, but we are all bearers of healing, love, and restoration in our own worlds, our homes, our workplaces, our communities. Jesus also warned them that the road ahead would not be easy. He told them to expect rejection, to face hostility, even persecution. Yet he encouraged them not to fear, for their mission was grounded in eternal truth. What they carried could not be silenced. This balance of power and vulnerability is what makes this passage so moving. The disciples were sent with authority, yet told to travel light. They were given divine backing, yet reminded that not all would welcome them. The message is clear. The strength of God's work is not in comfort, but in courage. When Jesus said, "Freely you have received, freely give," he was shaping the heart of Christian mission. Everything we have, salvation, forgiveness, mercy, was given to us freely, and we are called to share it freely. The gospel is not something to hoard, it's something to pour out. Picture this scene: 12 men leaving everything familiar behind. No money, no guarantee of safety, only faith and the command of their master. Yet through their obedience, the message of the kingdom began to spread. One town, one house, one heart at a time. The same Jesus who sent the 12 is still sending his followers today. The call hasn't changed. The mission remains: to proclaim good news, to bring healing, to offer peace. Wherever you are, in your city, your workplace, your family, you are part of that same divine commission. Sometimes we think mission work means going far away, but often it starts right where you are. Jesus told them to begin with the lost sheep of Israel. In other words, start with the people around you, those who are hurting, searching, or forgotten. Every believer is a messenger of God's love. You don't need a platform or a title. You just need obedience. Because the power isn't in the messenger, it's in the message. The disciples' journey also reminds us that ministry is relational. They weren't sent to build monuments or institutions. They were sent to bless homes, heal hearts, and share life with others. The gospel spreads through connection, through compassion that reaches across fear and difference. As Jesus sent them out 2 by 2, he was teaching them that mission is never meant to be done alone. We grow in faith and endurance when we walk together. One encourages when the other grows weary. One prays when the other doubts. And the promise of peace they carried was no small thing. In a world filled with division, pain, and injustice, Jesus gave them a word that transcended all chaos: peace be upon this house. The peace of Christ isn't fragile or circumstantial. It's powerful enough to transform hearts and restore homes. Even their instruction to shake the dust off your feet carries deep wisdom for us today. It means let go of what you can't change. Don't let rejection, criticism, or failure cling to your spirit. Keep walking, keep serving, keep believing, because the mission is bigger than the moment. Every time the disciples entered a new village, they carried with them the hope of heaven. Every miracle, every word of truth, every act of compassion was a glimpse of what God's kingdom looks like when it touches earth. And that same hope lives in us today. It's easy to forget that God's kingdom isn't just somewhere we go after death. It's something we bring to life here and now. When we forgive, when we love, when we serve, the kingdom draws near. So what does this story mean for us in our time? It means you are chosen, you are called, you are sent. Maybe not to distant lands, but into the spaces of your everyday life where people need to see Jesus through you. It means that your weakness doesn't disqualify you. The disciples were ordinary men, imperfect, flawed, uncertain, yet they became vessels of extraordinary grace. The same God who worked through them can work through you. It also means that faith is active. Following Jesus is not just about believing, it's about going. It's about stepping into the unknown with trust that he goes before you. When Jesus sent the 12, he wasn't just building a mission, he was building a movement. A movement that continues every time someone chooses compassion over indifference, truth over fear, faith over comfort. And this mission still requires courage today. We live in a world filled with spiritual and emotional sickness, broken relationships, anxious hearts, weary souls. Jesus is still sending his followers to bring healing and light into those dark places. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to say yes. If you've ever wondered what your purpose is, this passage offers a simple answer: to bring God's love where it's needed most. You've freely received grace. Now freely give it. Maybe you can't heal diseases, but you can offer comfort. Maybe you can't cast out demons, but you can help someone overcome fear. Maybe you can't travel far, but you can reach someone right next to you. The same Spirit that empowered the 12 empowers you. The same Jesus who said go still whispers that call today. And the same God who provided for them on the road will provide for you in your calling. When we live with that kind of faith, trusting, serving, giving, we carry the kingdom wherever we go. And one day when we look back, we'll see how every act of obedience, every word of kindness, every step of faith became part of God's unfolding mission in the world. Thank you for watching this message. If it inspired you, please like this video, follow Holy Path Insights and share it with others so that more hearts can be reminded. We are all called, we are all sent, and the kingdom of God is still moving through us today.